QROPS transfers for UK residents and residents in the majority of Europe are now over. As of the 30th of October 2024, the UK government's autumn budget has stopped, pension transfers being able to complete it to QROPS by implementing the overseas transfer charge of 25% to any such transfers. So who does this affect? Well, if you're living in the UK or a UK resident and you wanted to utilize a QROPS, there was actually a double taxation that you could have from the previous rules change. That is now over. Importantly, if you're in Europe, France, Spain, and you're thinking to go and live there and wanted to transfer, for example, to a Maltese QROP, that is also now over. The only pension transfers that can happen to QROPS now is if you are a resident in the country in which the QROPS is located. Now, this is a really good example of financial planning advice. Here at Cameron James, over the course of the past decade or more, we have helped giving advice to numerous individuals, UK residents, utilizing QROPS to complete a pension transfer for them, which had huge tax benefits. We don't give tax advice, but they're able to understand the tax benefits and move forward with that advice. For a lot of you who are hanging on the fence and weren't getting your transfers done, it's not possible now. The 25% tax would obviously apply, which makes it null and void. Now, that doesn't mean to say that your financial planning needs to stop. This happens again and again in the industry. The UK government will change the rules. Because you missed out potentially on QROPS or doing a QROPS transfer, doesn't mean to say now that you shouldn't do the next best thing, which is utilizing a SIPP and ensuring the money is invested correctly in line with your risk profile and having good levels of growth. Now, to take a little bit of a backstop here, in 2017, people said QROPS were dead. In 2017, the UK government introduced the original overseas transfer charge of 25%. This basically stopped anyone outside of the UK, Gibraltar and the EU from completing pension transfers outside of the jurisdiction. However, in 2017, you were still allowed to if you were a UK, Gibraltar or EU resident. The reason for this was freedom of pension movement, basically connected to the fact that we hadn't Brexited yet and the UK government still needed to oversee that legislation. However, now that has changed. Now, for a lot of our clients who are listening and thinking, okay, well, QROPS is gone, I've missed the boat. No, you need to take the next step, which is transferring yourself to a suitable pension scheme which can help you to grow your money. Now, in some individual countries, obviously in Malta, Gibraltar, you could technically go and live in that country and then you'd still be complying because you'd be a resident in Malta and your pension scheme would also be based in Malta. I'm actually thinking potentially of a business idea of lifestyle financial planning with people. Could you go and live in Malta? What would be the possible tax advantages of going and doing that? But for the majority of people, you're not going to base your entire financial planning around which country you can go and live in to make things tax efficient. If you are thinking about that, obviously get in touch below and we can give you lots of information. Now, a lot of the QROPS providers that I've spoken with are saying, oh, it's all over, the industry is finished, the blah, blah, blah. I'm saying to them, yeah, but remember the amount of people who are in horrible QROPS already. Horrible, expensive, underperforming, with offshore bonds, horrible financial advisors, commissions, etc., structured products that have fallen through. There's so many clients out there who still have a QROPS. Anyone watching this wondering, why would anyone go into a QROPS if those types of things happen? Unfortunately, these types of things happened in QROPS because, in my opinion, the level of advice and regulation of the oversight of the financial advisors that were advising the QROPS was poor. In the UK, when we were giving QROPS advice, we were obviously still FCA regulated, which meant it has to be fully transparent, etc., etc. A lot of advisors based in wherever it is, Dubai, etc. In my personal and professional opinion, the level of regulation and transparency was not as strong as the UK FCA, where consumer duty is obviously taking a hold now in the UK. So if you have any questions about this, if you feel like you missed the boat with the QROPS, it's really important to get in touch below and take financial planning that can still help you. Obviously, we have to remember lifetime allowance was abolished in the UK anyway, and lifetime allowance was one of the biggest advantages of a QROPS, or one of the last remaining biggest advantages before it was abolished in 2024. If you have any questions on QROPS, let me know below, and as always, take care with your UK pension assets.